I've lived on the same quiet lakeside property in the Midwest for more than 30 years. When my wife Andy bought the place, it was nothing fancy. Just a modest house, a small dock, and a little island about 50 yards from the shore. The island was the reason we fell in love with the spot. It had a few old trees, a picnic table we set up years ago, and enough peace and quiet to make you forget the rest of the world existed. For most of our time here, the neighborhood was friendly. Folks waved from their porches, kids fished off the dock, everyone respected the lake. Things stayed peaceful until our community created an HOA board. He hadn't thought much about it at first. He figured they'd pick colors for mailboxes and remind people to keep their trash bins tucked away. Turns out, the new board had a president who acted like she'd been elected governor of the entire shoreline. Most neighbors called her Karen behind her back. She corrected people on where to park, told them how often they should mow. And he even tried to police what kind of bird feeders people were allowed to hang. He kept my distance. My house and the island were far enough from the rest of the neighborhood that he figured she'd leave me alone. He was wrong. One Saturday morning, he walked down to the dock to clean the canoe. That's when he noticed something on my island. 2 large signs stood at the edge of the shore, posted so they faced my property. They were bright white, fresh, and hostile looking. Each one read our private property. HOA members only. The RSPISSARS will be fined. He blinked a few times, thinking maybe one of the neighbor kids was pulling a prank. But these signs were sturdy metal with deep posts hammered into the ground. Someone meant business. He paddled over. As soon as he stepped onto the island, he felt my frustration simmer. This land was listed as mine in the deed. I'd paid taxes on it for decades. But here were signs telling me he needed authorization to visit my own island. He took photos and emailed the HOA board. Karen replied within an hour. She informed me that the island had become a shared neighborhood asset because residents have been using it for years. She claimed the HOA voted to formally incorporate the island into common space. He wrote back that they couldn't vote to seize private land. Her response was called, "The HOA feels otherwise." That was the moment he knew he needed help. He called a local attorney named Mark who had handled the boundary issue for me years earlier. He sent him the photos and he forwarded the emails. After one look, he burst out laughing. Then he stopped laughing and he sighed, "Actually, this could get serious, but you're on solid ground." Within a week, he drafted a notice addressed to the HOA. It explained that the island was legally mine, that their signs counted as trespassing, and that any attempt to restrict my access or designate the land as shared property would result in legal action. He cited state statutes and the old property maps that made their claims fall apart instantly. We didn't send it by email. We mailed it certified, addressed directly to the HOA president, with a formal request for removal of the signs within 7 days. About 3 days later, he heard a commotion outside. He looked across the lake and he saw Karen and the 2 HOA board members standing on the island. She was waving the notice around like someone handed her a rattlesnake. The other 2 were riding over her shoulder, shaking their heads. By that evening, the signs were gone. But Karen wasn't quite finished. She sent one last message saying she disagreed with the legal interpretation but would remove the signs while the board reviewed the matter. My lawyer sent a short reply informing her that any further interference would be seen as intentional harassment and that we were prepared to proceed. We never heard from her again. A month passed. Quiet returned. No more signs. No more claims. The island was once again a peaceful little patch of land for my wife and me. He even put up my own sign. Just a small, wooden one that said, "Welcome to our island." A friendly reminder of who actually owned the place. Sometimes he paddled over and he sat under the trees, thinking about how strange it is that a simple HOA dispute can turn into something this ridiculous. I've heard stories about entitled parents, HOA drama, and the neighborhood revenge, but I never imagined I'd have my own HOA revenge story to tell. At least this one ended with a bit of calm and a reminder that it pays to stand your ground. If you enjoyed the story, please like the video and subscribe for more.